Mr. Jawara, are you with us? I can see you are keenly listening.
Yes, I'm with you, Mr. Fofana.
Excellent. Okay. Okay. Cisse Traoré?
Yes, Mr. Fofana. Last class, my phone went off. That's why you don't hear me.
Okay, yeah, because you are very quiet last time. Abdul Cisse?
Yes.
Abdul, I'm picking people at random so that those that are sleeping will be able to know them. Abdul? Abdul, are you around? Abdul Cisse is not seem to be doing something else. Christiana Okoyi? Christiana?
Hello, yes, I'm here.
You are here. So far, so good. Are
Good
you?
afternoon. Yes.
Afternoon. Okay. Ibrahima Sedikan? Ibrahima?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. You're following, are you?
Yeah.
Okay. Lamin Kujabi? Mr. Kujabi?
Yes, Mr. Fofana, I'm here. I'm following.
You're following. Excellent. Just want to make sure everybody is following. Okay. Musa Danso? Musa?
Yes, I'm following.
Okay. Tida Sano?
Yes, Mr.
Tida?
Fofana, I'm following.
You're following. Excellent. Okay. Just want to make sure everybody is following, just to pick at random. Okay. So we're going to move to the next slide. The product life cycle stages, and of course, its effects on business. We've been discussing it in the previous slide, but we're going to consolidate it here. Okay. So like I said, the first stage is the development stage. People have already mentioned this is the stage where there will be huge cost on R&D, there will be some cost on design, there will be some cost in production, acquisition of machine, and so on and so forth. And we all agree there is not going to be any sales at all during this stage. Okay? No sales at all. We all agree. Yeah? Then the second stage, which is the introduction or the launching of the product. The product will not be known. It will not be well known. I mean, unfortunately, it's a new baby that has come to being. So as such, there will be low sales, generally. And of course, the business risk will be very high. Business risk high in the sense that, because it's a new thing, there is a make or break at this stage. So you either make it or you break. So the business risk could be extremely high, okay? If you fail to, if the product fails to be appealing to the customers, okay? Really, really interesting. Okay, so the next stage, stage 3, is the growth. As we've said, the customers will be knowing the product because the product has been in the market. It's going to grow small. Of course, sales will increase and the profits will register. Okay, then stage 4, maturity. This is the stage when the product is definitely well known in the market, and then the sales will obviously be at their peak. And of course, profits will obviously be high. Okay, that is if we have done our costing properly. And what costing technique should we have done to ensure that at the maturity stage, profit will be high? What costing technique? Hello, class. What costing technique should we employ to ensure that at the maturity stage of our product, the sales will be at its peak and profit will also be high? What costing?
I guess target costing.
Target costing. Brilliant. Target costing. Okay. Target costing. Okay. Target costing. Okay. Because this is the costing technique whereby we consider the market. We already determine our target selling price, we already determine our target cost, and of course, we determine our target profit. So if we employ target costing technique at the design stage, during the maturity stage of the product, sales will be at their peak, and of course, profitability will be also at its peak. Okay. Then we go to the final stage, which is the decline stage. Okay. Unfortunately, old age, as we all know, this is not the best time for a human being. This is the time when there will be so many ailments, muscle pain, all kinds of pain, all kinds of problems. Okay. The product also at this stage is not the best stage, because this is the stage when the taste for the product has drastically reduced. And because the taste has reduced, the sales demand will be falling. And of course, this is the time when, we can register losses. The business may still be profitable, but, this is the time when you are highly susceptible to making losses. Okay? Right. So, shall we move? We're going to look at some elements of a product's life cycle cost. We've mentioned research and development costs. This cost will be incurred at development stage. We agreed. This will be broken down into design, okay? Just like we've said, the design of the product, the specifications, the model and everything, okay? And the testing, okay? There will be a lot of cost that will be incurred when it comes to testing. You cannot just produce a product and then you push it to the market like that. You have to do some testing. And so during this testing period, there is what we call a loss leader. You have to incur some costs relating to loss leaders. What are loss leaders? What are loss leaders? I'm sure some of you have done commerce as a subject during your high school days. What are loss leaders? Class, are you with me? Are you with me?
Yes, Governor, we are following.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. Yes, this law.
Victoria, gisuñ dara di?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
I think loss leaders are, products that are sold to attract customers. Product that, you sell your product, at a loss just to attract customers.
I want to disagree. What are loss leaders, class?
Okay.
Something like that, Ibrahim, something like that, but not selling. Yes, Mohammed.
I want to agree with Ibrahim.
Okay.
Yes, that is this is when you sell product at a loss.
At a loss. Okay. At what stage?
You might not put it at that. You might not put the loss there, like selling it at a loss, but you can sell it at any price just to attract customers. That is, it's like a promotion thing.
Hey, there you go. You don't have to sell them at loss as well. Usually, you provide the product free of charge to customers. Some may of course sell it at very little prices. For example, something that was $100, they'll sell it at $20. But with the view of introducing the product to the market, pushing the product into the market. It's not very common in the Gambia or in Africa, but in the West, it's very, very common. Most of the time, in fact, they give it out free. Like if they introduce a new product, what they do is at city centers or at town centers, you'll find people standing there. As you walk along, they will offer you free products with some documents to fill. That will be like a questionnaire. Okay, they will give you free of charge. You go and use it, and then you will fill a questionnaire. And the questionnaire also, they will do it in such a way that it will have a prepaid stamp. Okay, so that If you go back, you use the product, for example, if it is soap, then you fill the questionnaire about your taste, how you feel about the product, and then it will be posted to whoever the manufacturer is. And then they can gather, people's experience on the product, how well, the product is being perceived, so that if there are issues with the product, they can fix it here and there. You understand? So, but Ibrahima and Mohammed, you are not completely, wrong, but then, yeah, it's something like that. It can be sold at very little prices, but in most cases, it's given free of charge. Okay, those are called loss leaders. Okay, shall we move? Sorry about that. Okay, so production process and equipment costs. This is the time when you'll invest on the production process development, acquisition of equipment, and stuff like that. Okay. Then the second element will be the cost of purchasing any technical data required. For example, if you're going to buy some prototypes, and stuff like that. Okay. Training cost, of course. Training cost. This is the training on how to produce the product, the training on how to market, and stuff like that. So all training costs related to the product will be borne here. Okay, so the fourth element will be manufacturing or production cost. Okay. Then we'll have marketing cost, which include the customer service, any cost related to customer service, paying staff who are there to face customers, and the staff who are there to take calls from customers to answer their queries, and so on and so forth. Okay, field maintenance at the field level, any cost relating to that, brand promotion, and stuff like that. Then you have the last category to be distribution costs, including any transportation and handling costs. Okay. So before we move to the benefits, any questions or any points to make? I want the class to be as interactive as possible. Do you understand what we've covered so far? Any questions? Any comments?
Okay, Mr. Fofana.
Yes, John.
Okay, how do you call, what this GSM operates laws will do? Like GAMCEL, let's exclude GAMCEL, AfriCell and QCell. Normally, every year, especially during the Ramadan, they will make so much, promotion, and we all know they lose a lot of millions from that. Sometimes they will give out, free credit, free money. Just they will give out money to people. How do you call that in business?
Okay, it could be for two purposes. One, it could be seen as a loss leader, because what they are trying to do is they're trying to promote their products and their services, so that people they're not losing anything. Please, for your information, they are not losing anything. What they gain, is more than what they spend.
Yeah, so that is they are incurring loss at now to.
Sorry, you're breaking, Chow.
Yeah, I mean they are incurring loss now for a future purpose,
Yes.
Because they know what they will gain in the future.
Yes. So to some extent, you can call it as what? Loss leaders. And then the second purpose is for their for their corporate social responsibility, their CSR. Okay. For CSR also boils down to the same thing. They don't do it for free. They do it to get recognition. And recognition in the sense that they want the public to feel they're the best, so that everybody can deal with them. So it's all the same concept, to be honest. So
their goodwill.
Well, yes, it can increase their goodwill. Yes, it can definitely increase the value of their goodwill. Yes. So true. Yeah, for those are the two main purposes. Of course, it could be categorized as a loss leader, and then two for their CSR. Okay. Well, it all boils down to the same point: recognition. Finish. Okay, that was a good point. Any other point, please? Okay, I think let's move. So we're going to look at some of the benefits of life cycle costing. Okay. Of course, it is very, very useful in decision making. Okay. How? For example, we've seen on the video, we had an option to either select a fuel car or an electrical car. So life cycle costing helped us to a great deal to be able to calculate the life cycle cost of each of the options and then compare the two so that we can take decision. Okay? We've seen that, isn't it? So it could be used to take decision on investment on projects or assets, you know, by calculating their life cycle cost and discounting them, you know, to be able to compare and come to a conclusion, okay, for decision making. So the second example for decision making will be one. Products or services investment decision, okay? By use of life cycle costing, you can decide either to invest on product A or product B, or service A or service B, okay? Because what you're going to look at, you're going to look at the projected life cycle benefit of each of the options or of each of the products and the projected life cycle cost. You net them off, you discount them, and then you'll be able to come to conclusion to say this particular product may be profitable periodically, like maybe when we do a monthly or a quarterly report or yearly report, it may be profitable. But when you look at it overall, this product may not be worthwhile. So life cycle costing is really, really very important in product or service investment decisions. Okay? Life cycle costing, another benefit could be it considers pre-life costs of products, okay? That is pre-launching, before the product comes to being. Unlike all other costing methods, they don't consider the research and development costs. They don't consider the design costs and so on and so forth, okay? But then when you look at, for a typical example is when you look at, for example, ABC, where do you start considering the cost? Where do you start when you are doing your ABC statement or when you are doing your absorption costing statement? Where do you start? When you are doing your cost statement using either absorption costing A or ABC, what are the four sets of costs you consider? Class?
Direct cost with I think.
Huh?
Direct cost.
You start with direct costs. Okay? You start with direct costs. Okay? And those direct costs only considers costs that have incurred after the launching, not before. Okay? So you see, life cycle costing differs from all other costing techniques because it considers the pre-life cost, the pre-launching costs. Okay? Examples of R&D, material acquisition costs, and so on and so forth. And these costs are very, very, very important. So they should not be ignored. So because it considers these pre-life costs, it's how to call it, is the best when it comes to decision making in terms of which product to produce, in terms of which project to invest in. Okay. So it has got so many benefits. To be honest, we only look at few, but notwithstanding, it has got some challenges as well. Okay. The first challenge is, in practice, it is very difficult to calculate. Why? Because it relates to elements that has to deal with the future. Okay. For example, in order to calculate your life cycle cost in the future, you need some future cash flows which needs to be discounted. Okay, and we all know discounting is not an easy way. Okay, and it has got some uncertainties. Okay, so due to uncertainty of those future life cycle costs and revenue calculations, it may not be reliable for decision making, okay? Because it uses unrealistic, factors like discount rates, capital allowances rates, and so on and so forth. So those ones are unrealistic because they are based on estimates, okay? So these are some of the challenges that we are faced with when we are implementing a life cycle costing regime. But notwithstanding, it is very, very useful. It's really very beneficial in practice. Okay. So, any question, please, before we discuss our group assignment and then do our questions? Any question or comments? Are we following, class? Is life cycle costing clear? Is it well understood? Do you have any questions? Do you have any remarks to make? Abdullah Kurbali, are you with us? Abdullah? Basin Salah? Basin?
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Fofana, it's clear.
It's clear. Binta Baji?
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Fofana, it's clear.
Yeah. And Philomen has been quiet since last class. Is he with us? Philomen? I've not heard from her since last class.
No, I don't think so. I don't think she's around.
Okay, that's fine. Fansu Dumbuya?
Yes, I'm around.
You're around. Okay, I want to make sure everybody is around, everybody is following.
It's 16 hours.
It's 16 hours. Marimane? Mari MM Mane. Mari, you are not sort of M's, huh?
Yes, Mr. Fofana.
I hope it's not a coincidence. Mari MM Mane. You are not sort of M. You'll be called what? M tube, yeah?
Yes.
Not M square, but the fourth root of M, eh? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Mamadou York? Mamadou? Yankuba Sise? Tida? Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Mr. Fofana.
Okay. Audience? Okay, excellent. Everybody seems to be following. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. Binta, is this, Mari, is this a good point to stop the recording before we start something new?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, okay, excellent.